Hi, before we get into the video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for 100 subs. I noticed it that I hit 100 just after I finished editing this video together, so I thought I'd add this little thing at the start to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel so far. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you to anyone who's even watched my videos and takes the time to come and check out my channel at all. I really appreciate it. To celebrate 100 subs, I would love to do a little Q&A. So if you have any questions for me about myself, my channel, about manga or anime, anything like that, leave them in the comments down below and I'd love to make a Q&A video in the coming weeks. But without further ado, let's get into the video I have planned. Thank you so much again. Hello and welcome to my top manga of 2020. So this is not going to be my favourite manga that came out this year or started publishing this year. This is going to be my favourite manga that I started reading or finished reading this year that I would like to share with you. So the first manga I want to talk to you about is Yona of the Dawn. I started this manga this year and it follows the story of Princess Yona and her bodyguard Hark. When Yona's castle is taken over by her evil cousin Suwon and he murders her father, Yona and Hark have to escape the castle and hide out in the kingdom. They then go on a journey together to find a way for Yona to take back her kingdom from her evil cousin. This manga is very interesting so far. I have read the first 3 volumes this year and I do own more than that, I just haven't gotten around to reading them quite yet. I really enjoyed the first little bit that I read. I think that the art in this is absolutely stunning. I really like that it's a different kind of shoujo where instead of it having a main focus on like romance and stuff like that, there's quite a lot of action and political stuff in this and I've really enjoyed it so far and I can't wait to read some more. The next manga I'm going to talk about is Kimi ni Todoke. So Kimi ni Todoke follows the story of a girl named Sawako. Sawako is known by her classmates as Sadako because everyone thinks that she looks like the Grudge. Everyone's afraid of her, there's a lot of rumours that she can see spirits and summon spirits and things like that, but none of them are true. She's actually a sweetheart and all she wants is for people to be her friend, basically. But there's one person in her class, this boy, whose name I cannot remember for some reason, and it is not on the back of the book. But he is in her class and he treats her the exact same way that he treats everybody else. She quite likes him and you can sort of tell as it goes on that she does have a little bit of a crush on him. And after reading this first volume, it starts to seem like he might have a crush on her as well, but they both don't know it. He thinks that she doesn't really like him that much and that she just admires him and as a friend, and she thinks that he could never like someone like her because he's so popular and she's not. So it's one of those sort of stories. Yeah, I put off getting into this one for a while because it is quite long. It's 30 volumes, but when I heard that there's a chance that it might be going out of print, I had to start picking it up because I've heard such good things about it, and I read the first chapter online before buying the volume just to see what it was sort of like. And I was blown away. It was so adorable. Everything about this is just so adorable. I really, really like it, and I highly recommend to anyone that loves like fluffy romantic shoujos and stuff like that. This one is for you. So I started reading that this year, and I will definitely continue reading it in the new year. The next manga I'm going to talk about is Horimiya. So Horimiya was originally a webcomic called Hori-san and Miyamura-kun. So obviously Horimiya is a combination of Hori and Miyamura. So Hori-san is a girl who is quite popular in school. She wears makeup at school, she's popular at school, she's one of those kind of girls. And Miyamura-kun is a boy who is seen as quite a gloomy gus at school. Everyone just assumes that he's a loser fanboy, wears glasses, long hair, you know, always in long sleeves kind of guy. But one day, a very liberally pierced Miyamura-kun turns up at Hori-san's house, and she finds out that he actually has this whole different personality that she doesn't know about, and that he sort of hides from people at school. And then he learns that Hori-san is the same way, and that while she's popular at school, she's actually a bit more of a homebody and a shut-in. She cares for her brother because their parents are away a lot. She does a lot of housework and cleaning and cooking and those sorts of things. And so this story basically follows them as they learn about one another's true, authentic selves and get to know each other in a way that other people don't know them. And I just think it is so sweet. I've really enjoyed this first volume, and I'll definitely be continuing it in the new year. It's so sweet, and the art by Daisuke Hagiwara is really nice. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'll be continuing it in the new year. The next manga I'm going to talk about is Komi Can't Communicate. I started reading Komi Can't Communicate this year as I saw a lot of people talking about it and about how it deals with a girl who has quite bad social anxiety. As me myself, I suffer with generalized anxiety disorder, and what comes with that is a lot of social anxiety as well. So I really wanted to read this because I thought that it could be quite relatable, and it was. So Komi Can't Communicate follows a girl named Komi. She is the most popular girl in school, but she actually doesn't really have any friends. She finds it really difficult to talk to people and communicate. People just assume that she's a bit sort of stuck up and that she's better than everyone else. No one tries to talk to her because they think that they are below her. But what she wants more than anything is to make 100 friends. But one day she ends up having a brief blackboard conversation with Tadano, who is sort of in the background. Tadano discovers that she has this communication issue, and he agrees to help her make 100 friends, and he'll be her first friend. And so begins the story of Komi trying to make 100 friends. These are done in really short little chapters called communications, and it basically breaks up each of her little conversations throughout the day. And it's really cute just to see her, like how she talks and how she stutters and stumbles over her words and stuff like that. And I find like that is very relatable for me, because that's how it is when I try to talk to people in real life. Even sometimes when I'm recording videos, I find it really hard to get the words out, and I get anxious and I start to stutter and stumble. So yeah, I just find it really, really relatable, and I think that anybody that has social anxiety would find it relatable. But it also, despite being sort of a heavier topic with it being a mental health issue, it's done in such a comedic way. Like, you never feel bad for her. Like, it's not like, oh, poor thing, oh, it's like it's really bad. No, it's actually a comedic manga, and it's really funny to read, and just, yeah, it's kind of cute too, and I kind of hope that something happens between her and Tadano, but I have no idea because I've only read the first 3 volumes so far. But I'm definitely going to be getting more of this as the story goes on, because it is super cute. And the last manga that I started this year that I want to talk about is Blue Flag. Blue Flag follows the story of this group of friends here. So one day, Futaba comes up to Ichinose and tells him that she has a crush on his friend Mita. So she asks Ichinose if he'll help her sort of like get in with him and talk to him and like be around him. Even though he's very reluctant, Ichinose eventually agrees, but warns her that he believes that Mita already has a crush on somebody else, but he doesn't know who exactly it is. But Mita-kun gets the wrong idea and thinks that Futaba actually has a crush on Ichinose. Ichinose starts to develop a crush on Futaba, and Futaba also has a friend who is a girl who has a crush on her. Mita has a crush on Ichinose, but he doesn't know it. So it's a kind of a love triangle square sort of thing. But this isn't a shoujo. This is actually a shonen romance, so it doesn't do any of the typical tropes that a shoujo does. And it's quite drama-driven rather than romance-driven, and I really like it so far. I have read the first 2 volumes, and very eagerly awaiting for volume 4 and 5 to come out. I think that they're out in the States, but they haven't quite come out over here in Australia yet, so I'm still waiting for that. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to reading more of this story. I think it's only short. I think it's only going to be 8 volumes total. But yeah, it's really nice. The art is fantastic, as you can see from the covers. Like, all the covers on these books are absolutely stunning. If you just Google them, you'll see. And yeah, because it was actually the cover that drew me to it in the first place, because I saw it on the Shonen Jump app and read the first couple of chapters that you can read for free, and then decided that I definitely need to read it. So I went and bought it. And I don't regret it at all, and I look forward to continuing this and hopefully finishing it in 2021. The first one I'm going to talk about that I finished this year is The Gentleman's Alliance Cross. I don't have a review out for this yet, but I will be making one. The Gentleman's Alliance Cross follows the story of Hayane Otomiya. So Hayane Otomiya is a girl who is going to a prestigious high school, and she has a crush on Shizumasa Togu. Sorry, that's really hard to say for some reason. Shizumasa Togu is the emperor of the school, which I think is basically like the student council president kind of thing. But she has a crush on him. She hasn't seen him since they were children. She fell in love with him because of a book that that he wrote when he was a child, and then they met when they were kids. She had a crush on him, and then they met a little bit later when she was in middle school, when she was a delinquent, and he basically helped her he basically told her that she should live her life better than that. And so she stopped being a delinquent, worked really hard to get into this prestigious high school, and yeah, so she could be around him. Because of the school's class system, she can't really get that close to him, but when she's given an opportunity to help him, she does, and then ends up becoming his bodyguard. When she gets close to him though, she realizes that he's a lot different to how he used to be, and then you find out a really big secret that basically makes everything make a bit more sense, and just opens up the story to a whole lot more drama and a lot more like, when is she going to find out this secret, what's going to happen when she finds out. It's one of those. It's definitely a drama forward shoujo, and I really liked it. I love reading stories that have like lots of plot twists and plot turns. If you can recommend any others similar to that, let me know. I love things where there are just wild plot twists and like stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this, and I think the artwork that Arina Tanimura does is very lovely, and I'm really interested to read more of her works because I did really enjoy this one. So yeah, that was one of the first things I finished this year. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about is another series that I finished this year, Fruits Basket. So Fruits Basket is a story about a girl named Toru Honda. After her mother suddenly passes away, she's basically left with no family except her paternal grandfather, but he is not able to live at home for the time being, and so she tells him that she has somewhere to stay, even though she doesn't, and she moves into a tent. One day, Shigure Soma and Yuki Soma, Yuki being the most popular guy in her school, and Shigure Soma being his cousin, find her living in her tent. It turns out that her tent is set up on their property. She begs them to let her stay on the property, but they actually invite her to stay in their home, so that she doesn't have to stay out in the woods alone. But what Toru doesn't know is that this family has a secret, and that when they are hugged or embraced or something like that by a member of the opposite sex, they transform into one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, and the cat. This is sort of a romance shoujo, but it's also really drama heavy, also very psychological in places as well. It starts off really like sort of typical shoujo, but then there is a lot of dark elements to this that I really enjoyed. I watched the original series quite a few years ago, probably nearly 10 years ago now, with my dad, and I really loved the original series, and when I heard that they were going to do a reboot, I thought that would be fantastic, but that I wanted to read it and read the original story first. So I have been collecting these for a few years, trying to finish reading it and trying to keep ahead of where the reboot anime was up to, and I managed to do that, and I managed to finish this series this year, and I'm so glad that I got to finally read it all. It is a fantastic story. It is just amazing. I cannot recommend this enough. Even if you're not into shoujo, I would still recommend this, because there's a lot of dark elements, and it's not like super fluffy like a lot of other shoujos, and it's not like a lot of stereotypical stuff. At least I don't think so. I really enjoyed this. It has become one of my favorite things ever, and I will definitely be reading it again in the future at some point, because it's just one of my favorite things. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so that wraps up my favorites for 2020. There's quite a few. I hope that maybe this has inspired some of you to pick up some of these series in the new year. If you've read any of these, or you think that you know anything that I would enjoy reading since I read some of these, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your opinion is on some of these manga if you started reading them as well. Let me know any content that you'd like to see in the future going into the new year. I have lots of video ideas, but I really don't know what it is that people want to see. So if you have any ideas for what you would like to see in the future on my channel, please let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video and in the new year. Bye!